Hi there, Isha here, and welcome to the Higher Life. So today I've been really digging deep into myself and exploring the mother-daughter relationship and in what this feminine dynamic, the synergy between the mother and the daughter. I mean, it really is mother and child, but I do think being a daughter and having a daughter, that there is something really uniquely informing about the dynamic between a mother and daughter and the relationship that it creates. It's this feminine meets feminine, and it gives us real insight into the intelligence of feminine power. And I speak to this a lot because we are entering into what would be known as the era of the awake feminine, the conscious feminine, the time where we become very aware and actually develop our capacity to cultivate the feminine power through our daily lives. And it's a really important power to be cultivating right now in a period of human history where there is an excessive use of yang energy. The yin is very cooling. And this can seem a little surprising when we look at something like a mother-daughter dynamic because, personally, I know there seems to be a lot of fire that occurs within a parent-child relationship, but often between these two feminine energies that meet. And I've really wanted to get to the heart of what the power of this dynamic is. I feel like it's going to offer us insight into an aspect of our nature that is ever present but we don't really look at. And this is the capacity for unconditional love. Now, unconditional love is a topic that often gets mistaken for parental love, romantic love, love for self. But I think what unconditional love is really speaking to is this human desire to be loved and to love, this need as a child has or a daughter has from her mother to feel her mother's love, but at the same time to want to really be independent, an independent soul or an independent spirit. I just remember that with my own mother, who's a very strong presence of craving and wanting to be in union with her and to experience that motherly love, but at the same time wanting to be free to be my own person, to have my own ideas, to speak from my own heart. It's always what can be perceived as this tension of needing and wanting to be held and also wanting to be free and to be strong and to be liberated and to be your own person. And I think that is at the heart of feminine power. It allows for this beautiful synergy. I'm not going to say it's a conflict, it's a synergy between the enveloping that happens when we feel really loved and we are loving and we feel recognized and appreciated, and the raw enthusiasm and energy that comes from feeling liberated and free to be our own unique soul. And I think what happens in a mother-daughter dynamic is there is this constant movement between communion and conflict or tension, but it's a kind of weird testing tension where you can feel this fire and these two forces of feminine wanting to kind of tussle it out. I've had a lot of, I call it jiu-jitsu moments with my daughter, where you're kind of trying to get to a space where through the conflict or through the contradiction or the two opposing forces, something new happens, a newer level of intimacy, of trust, of agency. I think the younger generation are really in this language of agency. You have the freedom to exercise and use your energy creatively in the way that serves your highest expression of self. And in the old days, parenting was often seen, that parent-child relationship was really seen in a very authoritarian way. The parent dominated the child, and we still see remnants of that today. But if we really look closely at the mother-daughter, the way that feminine just translates through from one generation to the next, what we see is this beautiful awakening to the power of a synergy that gets created through the coming together of two forces with their own independent strength that then form and synthesize and become a third, even more powerful force. So there's a certain amount of yang in a mother-daughter relationship, but effectively it's the feminine, it's this sense of welcoming in and communion that happens a lot more between females than it really does between males. If we look at males as being the yang or the expression of yang, most men will, if you speak to them at a very honest level, feel that the male experience of being human, they kind of miss a lot of that intimacy, that communion, that collectivity that seems to naturally happen when women come together. And in this day and age, women have this natural and centuries, I believe, of cultivated capacity to commune and to relate and to receive and be receptive and to operate in this really feminine way. And we've had this yang inner strength fire that has, I think, existed over the generations, but is getting more voice or more expression in the actual material yang world in the last sort of 50 years. And I think there is something to be said about this mother-daughter dynamic. You know, sometimes I feel like it's the beginning of everything. It's kind of where everything comes from. And I think that, you know, when we see that relationship play out and we're in it ourselves, we can feel how much power it has, and it can be very scary. We can feel very overwhelmed. I know I do sometimes in my relationship with my daughter, because it feels like I can feel these equal powers matching each other. Whereas when I'm with my son, I do find there is some sort of softening there. It seems a little less intense. But of course, that's just could be for me personally. So this theme, mother and daughter, it's something that I've been exploring a lot in the last week or so, you know, in the context of this larger exploration into cultivating feminine power and coming to understand what the true nature of feminine is. So I hope if you're out there, you're a mother or you've been a daughter or you're a little bit of both, mother and daughter, that this resonates with you at some level, that you feel this I don't know, enthusiasm, I guess is the word that I'm using. I think that's come because Taylor Swift's in town this week, and I just equate Taylor spirit with enthusiasm, and my daughter's a big fan. So I think that's what's inspired a little bit of my thinking around mother and daughters in the last sort of couple of days. So I really hope this has been helpful, and if you like this work, definitely check out Higher Life Academy on Higher Life TV, where I delve a lot more into these themes and many more. So until next time, take care and love life.